Hi guys, it is day 32. Who'da thunk it? I haven't heard much else of opening soon. I'm really hoping it will be within the next week, so again, stay tuned. If you hear something before me, shoot me a text, please. I'm trying to get back to the studio. Although this is working out okay. All right, we are doing arms. We've done some heavy legs, we did some abs. We're going to go back and do the arm series. I'm going to give you a few different modifications, ways to make that a little bit more challenging. It just depends on what props you have at home. So first things first, we're going to do the 100. We'll get our abs in. Then we're going to do the standing arm series, tricep work as well. Then I have my flexi band. We're going to use that for a few other positions with the tension coming from in front so that we get a little bit more work in the back of the arms and the mid-back. Props. You don't need any props for any of this. However, if you want to make some of the work a little bit more challenging or challenge your core a little bit more and bring some balance work into it. First things first, the 100, I have a fitness circle. I'm going to use that between my ankles just to get a little bit more inner thigh work. You could have your feet inside and pull it apart for the 100 to get some outer thigh work. If you're working your 100 from above and going into a half round back position, then you can have the fitness circle or a small ball between the knees and you would squeeze and get that extra work that way. If you have another way that you've been doing the 100 that is your favorite, then go to that. Just make sure that your form is staying good. With your 100, if you're from above, remember you're not leaning back. You don't want tension in the neck. Feet have to stay on the mat. You're curling the tailbone under and pulling in the lower abs, and you are not allowing the shoulders to reach forward nor the chin dropping forward. Head stays perched over the shoulders, and you only go as far back as you can go and pull in tight, feel the challenge, and be able to hold it for the 100. If it gets a little bit tough, come a little bit more forward so that you can finish the whole 100. Next, with the standing arm work, I'm going to be using hand weights. I got 2 pounds. 2 pounds is good. If you've got 3s, go to that. Don't go any higher than that. You don't need any weights at all. You can just work your body tension and press arms up and down into heavy air and engage those muscles. From there, prop is a flexi band, which I have on an anchor here that's just above knee height. It's good. You can probably find something that you can anchor at about that. Just make sure, again, whatever you're anchoring onto is stable and can't move while you're doing the work. Alrighty, so grab any props. Also, I didn't mention, I've got my Bosu here. While I'm doing the arm work with hand weights, I'm also going to be standing on the Bosu. So if you have a Bosu, you might want to grab it too. It's good work for the core while you're working the arms all over the place, which is going to challenge your balance and therefore challenge your core. So it's a great prop. I have a Bosu, fitness circle, flexi band, and hand weights, and water. So get everything that you need, and we'll start with the 100. I'm going to have the fitness circle between my ankles, and I'm going to be down on the mat coming up into the 100. If you're working from that position, you want to come up high enough so that your scapula are off the mat. You're not going to jam the chin down into the chest. If you're working that, you know that one. You'll extend the legs only as far as you can go without the back arching off the mat. you can keep the legs at tabletop. If you're working from above, then you're going to be sitting upright, and when I cue, you move into your 100 position. All right, are we ready? All right, get a good breath. On the inhale, pick up your head and shoulders. On the exhale, everybody into your 100 position and pump. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 4, 10. In 2, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 20. In 2, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 30. In 2, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 40. In 2, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 50. Hang in there. Out 2, 4, 60. In 2, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 70. Pull those abs in even tighter. Out 2, 4, 80. In 4, and out 2, 3, 4, 90. In and out 2, 3, 4, 100. Pull it in, crunch, and come on up. Very nicely done. Alrighty. So that's your ab work. That's your warm up. We're going to go on to standing arm work. As I say, I've got little 2-pound weights and my Bosu. We'll see how often I need to edit this. All right, on to your Bosu. Feet hip distance apart and parallel. And if you're on the mat, same thing, feet hip distance apart or parallel. I usually do this one with the heels together, toes apart, zip the legs up so that you're firing up the glutes and tucking the hips under. Can't quite do that. Well, you could do it on the Bosu if you want that extra challenge. It definitely is an extra challenge. But the nice thing with this position is that it does ensure that your glutes are always fired up, which helps protect the lower back. If you want to work with the feet a little bit apart, just make sure your glutes are always fired up and your hips are slightly tucked under. When you start working overhead, be it on the Bosu or on the mat, your back is going to tend to want to arch. So you have to work your abs and your glutes a little bit harder then, okay? At any time, put down the weights. We're going to do 10 of everything. We're starting with bicep curls. Elbows by the waist, forearms parallel, and 2. Keep those shoulders stabilized, and 4, 5. Knees are a little bit soft if you're on the Bosu. And 8, and 9, and 10. Out to the side, palms up. 1, and 2. Nice and wide. Don't go above shoulder height. 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Palms down. 1 and 2. For those of you who know this routine, I'm going to throw in something else at the end of this one. 5 and 6, so stay with me. And 7, keep those shoulders stabilized. 8 and 9 and 10, straight in front of you, palms down. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now stay up, out, and down. 2. We're doing 5 in each direction. And 3. Out and down. And 4. Out and down. And 5. Out, down, reverse. Out, forward, and down. And 2. Forward and down, and 3, and down, and 4, and down, and 5, and down. You're going to bring them out to the side, turn your palms up, keep the elbows at about shoulder height, and work your curls. And now you have to start minding your lower back to make sure it doesn't start arching. Keep the lower abs in nice and tight. And 7 and 8. The above the head stuff is harder, so feel free to drop your weights whenever you need to. Wide, right overhead, keep the shoulder blades down. Exhale, press down into heavy air. And 2 and 3 and 4, 5. Stay tight. And 6. How you doing? 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Up, overhead. Hold the weights together, pulling those lower abs even tighter. Your back wants to arch. Bring the elbows close to your head for a dip behind the head. Try not to let the elbows go out to the side. And 3 and 4 and 4 and up. And 5 and 6. How you doing in the Bosu, Jeff and Bev? And up. And 8 and 9 and 10. Up. Pull down to a right angle. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stay at the right angle, palms face forward, elbows squeeze. And 2, keep the shoulders down. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Bring the elbows in, pull them into your waist. You're doing a hammer curl here, like the bicep, except that the palms are facing each other, which is working more your forearm and your wrist. 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Now when we're doing this in the studio on the floor, I will tell you then to step into a lunge, one foot in front of the other, one behind, and you're in a little bit of a forward lean. I'm on the Bosu, so I'm going to complete it here. We've got the tricep presses and whatnot to do. So if you're on your Bosu, you may need to reposition your feet just because you're going to be leaning a little bit forward. All right, pulling those abs nice and tight. Everybody else in a lunge, one foot in front, the other foot behind. Pull the elbows behind the waist, or at least to the waist, and keep the elbows back there. Press it out. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Those of you in the Bosu, find your balance. 6, abs in tight. And 8, whole foot pressed down into the Bosu. Keep the arm out there. Lift it higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and keep it lifted. Squeeze together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alrighty, come on up. Roll your shoulders out. We're done with the Bosu, so if you're using one, you can come on off. Just be nice and safe. Alrighty, that was great. I'm going to get this out of the way. And then I'm going to grab my fitness band. I wanted to get in a little bit more mid-back work. So I have my anchor, again, just above knee height. We're going to do pull back and squeeze between the shoulder blades. We're going to do another round of tricep press. And a little bit out to the side, a little bit up and around, just to work a little bit more in the back of the shoulder. Now, depending on where you have your flexiband anchored, you can certainly do this sitting down. If I had my little bench here, I would place it far enough away so that I'm getting the tension that I want. And you can do all of these sitting down. Otherwise, up. We're going to start with a plow. So if you're standing, you're in a little bit of a forward lunge. You're not dropping your body forward though. You're still keeping everything intact. Shoulder blades in place. Your head's not dropping forward. Your abs are in tight. And if you're sitting down, you're sitting up nice and tall. You may want to be in a slight forward lean, but you're still tall. All right. We'll do 10. Get a breath. Exhale. Press and squeeze between the shoulder blades and return. And 2. And back. And 3. And back. And 4. Only go as far as you can go with the intensity that you've chosen, that your torso doesn't come out of form. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. All right, so I'm going to sit in the stool for the next one because many of you may be in the same position. And if the anchor is directly in front of you here, it's a little bit better for range of motion. Just going to test it out here. I have a medium band. Choose a lighter band if you need to. We're going to be going out to the side, then up overhead, and then circles. Alrighty? Okay, we're set. 10 in each direction. Out to the side. 1. And nice and slowly, so that your core and back get the chance to work hard to stabilize your body. And 5. And 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. Straight up. 1, 2. These are more challenging. Move closer to the anchor if you need to. And back. And if you get tension in the neck, just turn one way or the other as you're pulling. 9 and 10. Out to the side. Up, back and front. And 2. Up and back. Are you keeping those shoulder blades down? And back. And 4. Up and back. And last 1. Up and back. In that direction. We have 5 more to go in the other direction. Up, out, and back. And 2. Up and back. And 3. Out and back. And 4. Out and back. And last one. Out and back. Nicely done. The very last thing we'll do is a little bit more for the lats, for your back. And we get the lats when we're pulling the arms into the body and pressing down from the shoulder, and it activates those lats. So I'm going to stand up for this one. I'm going to keep the anchor low, but I'm just going to need to lean a little bit more forward. Now, if I had a higher anchor, you know, maybe about head height, I would hold it there, go into a forward lunge so that your body is in a long line about towards the anchor. You would be pulling out to the side and back into your hips nice and tight so that you can feel the work. I've got a low anchor here, so I'm just going to lean a little bit more forward, but I'm not going to allow my body to collapse or my head to drop, and I'm still going to focus on the lats. I just want to check first to make sure that I have the right flexi band. You don't want it too hard. You want to be able to get full range of motion and to get the hands right back towards your hips. All right, so this works. If it doesn't for you, either come closer to the anchor or change your flexi-band and get a lighter one. You can move back and adjust the tension, but again, you do want to get full range of motion. All right, 10 lat pulls. So once you've figured out your tension, a little bit of a forward lunge. Arms are out to the side, shoulder blades are stabilized. Get a breath, exhale, press back and squeeze in. Return with control. And 2, and back. And 3, squeeze in tight. And 4, and 5, and 6, 7. Get nice and long in the back of the neck. And 9, and 10. Back with control. Alrighty, nicely done. So roll those shoulders out. You might want to roll your neck out a little bit if you got some tension in there. Give yourself your arm stretches. These we did in an earlier video. And protract a little bit. Big stretch all the way across your body. Protract a little bit of a stretch. Dynamic stretching, meaning lots of movement while you're allowing the limb to get as much range of motion that it's comfortable, is always good because it brings a little bit more blood supply into the area. So they're a great thing to do either when you're finished or even as a little bit of a warm-up, provided you're not going crazy in whipping those limbs apart. Alrighty, well that was a good little bit of arm work today. Tomorrow, Friday, day 33. Alright, see you then.